Hello, YouTube. I saw something on YouTube and I was like, let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. And I was going to make it in like a two-part discussion because it was something else that I wanted to talk about on somebody else's channel. She actually is on Facebook. I don't think she's on Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram since my phone crashed. Something is really weird with Instagram. I can't get on it, but Facebook I was fine. But there's a lady on Facebook. She's around my age. She says she's 34, I'm 36. And she was talking about a scenario of a guy that her friend met in the bar. And I feel like she was kind of throwing shade at her because she was like, oh, she met him 2 weeks before. It doesn't matter when they met. The point that I'm trying to make is coming up. But anyway, she went to the dude house because what happened was her friend is one of those that she goes to the bar by herself. We all got a friend like that. And that's actually a new trend. I don't recommend it, ladies. I feel like if you have to go to a bar, go with at least one friend. Sometimes it's hard because everybody busy or don't feel like going, especially when you get to the 30s. But go with a homeboy, go with somebody. Never go to no bar by yourself. And sometimes it might be tempting. I think I never went to a bar by myself, but I did go to a ballroom, Highland Ballroom by myself to see Keisha Cole many years ago. I feel like that was like 10 years ago when I saw her. And I went to BB King's a few times by myself. But that was like a restaurant slash venue. It wasn't really a bar. But you should never go to like a bar or any type of club alone because there's weirdos in the world. It's weirdos everywhere, but I just wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, so her friend was in a bar by herself, met some guy, and so coincidentally he was there 2 weeks later. And so they bump into each other and he's like, hey, why don't you go get some clothes? She goes back to her place to pick up some clothes, and they go to his crib to spend the night or chill or whatever. So they get to his crib and his supposed ex-girlfriend is on the couch sitting with her friend. They get into a fight and she's on the Uber app, which I don't blame her. But the question I have for my ladies, would that be a hell no for you? For me, personally, yes. But you do have some crazy people in the world that feel like after a breakup. So like for me, I wouldn't want to talk to him no more. But at the same time, I would be curious to know, like, why do you think she was at the apartment with her friend sitting waiting for you? Like, how long has it been since y'all broken up? Why didn't you take the keys back? Like, I would still want to know the answers. So like she told the story. The point of it was like a ghetto, like a ghetto story. But ladies, what would you do if you're going to a guy's house for the first time? I think that was God. To me, that's God, because imagine if she was dating this man for a year and then they get to his crib and then some bitches there. That would be more heartbreaking. But I feel like it's a blessing that that happened the first time. See, it wasn't meant for her to be intimate with him. That's God. That's really God stopping her from whatever situation that would have been, right? So comment, like, and subscribe. What would you do? That's the first part story. Now the second part is a clip from Girlfriends. Maya, she's the dark-skinned one. Now for me personally, I have to say, I was never a fan of Girlfriends. My father watched it, and in my household we had 2 TVs, but one had cable and the other one didn't. And the other one was very fuzzy, so I didn't even watch that. But the TV, was basically, we shared it, as a family. But I was forced to watch Girlfriends because of my dad. So I don't remember episodes because, like I said, I never was into it. I never liked the show for the simple fact it's all stereotypical characteristic traits. Even though I was only 11, I was really deep, like like I didn't like Doug because his friend was green. So I'm like, well, What are they trying to say about black people? Like, stuff like that. Even though I was little, I was deep, right? So I didn't like Girlfriends because Joan, which is played by Tracy Ellis Diana Ross' daughter, so it's Tracy Ellis Ross, right? If I'm saying her name right. From the very first episode, if I'm not mistaken, she's like, oh, I'm successful and I can't get a man. There's a difference between you don't have a man and can't get a man. So I just never liked that role for Joan, because why she gotta be the successful black woman that can't get a man? That's just so stereotypical. And if I'm not mistaken, the whole series, she just never had a man. She wasn't even, like, she would date somebody for 2 seconds and she just would spend months and years alone. And I'm like, even when you single, you still got a little boo thing here and there. But Joan was just always the lonely one, and I didn't like that character for her at all. Like, she was just, it seemed like she was lonely, miserable. I don't think she had any hobbies, and I just hated that character for her. Then the two dark-skinned girls, Maya and the other bitch, they were stuck up. And then the other light-skinned girl, she was homeless. So I didn't like the show just for that, because the characteristic traits just was like annoying to me. Hearing their voices was annoying. So I did not like Girlfriends at all. But they have a clip from an episode on YouTube. It's played by Stephen Bishop. He's fine. He had a fake accent on a show, playing the part of a Dominican baseball player. And this is the part of the episode I wanted to talk about. So basically, they showed a clip where Maya popped up at an event that she was not invited to. I want y'all to pay attention to that. So she pops up uninvited with her 3 friends, right? And so that's when the other dark-skinned girl, she's like, oh, you know, you're just a trophy. I've been here. You know, the other women are here. So basically, like, that to me is wrong, because if you pop up at an event that I did not invite you to, it's a reason why I didn't invite you. It doesn't mean that I'm ashamed of you. And so with women that I notice, they always invite a guy. It could be girls' night out and they invite their boyfriend. I've never done that, and I would never do that. If it's girls' night out, and it could be my birthday, if I know that my girls are single or they're not bringing their dudes, I'm not bringing my dude, period. I would never want somebody to feel uncomfortable. But for some reason with women, it's like they don't care. I remember a girl from my high school, and we stopped talking for like the stupidest reason. But anyway, it was her 31st birthday, and I asked her, I was like, oh, are you bringing your boyfriend? I'll bring mine. She's like, no, I'm not bringing my boyfriend, whatever. She ends up bringing him. I was only mad because it's like, I know if I brought my boyfriend at the time, he's an ex now, but he would have drove me back home. So that's why I was a little upset with her, because I'm like, okay, now I got to take a Uber back home when he could have came with me, helped pay for the bill, and he would have drove me home. He would have drove her home too. Maybe not the boyfriend, because, you know, her man, he lived in the Bronx, kind of far, but like, he would have drove them to her place at least, and then he could have took an Uber home, whatever. But it's like, I don't like stuff like that. Like, why you want to be the only one with a man on your arm or whatever? You know, that's just weird. I guess she did it unintentionally. I don't know, but women tend to. It could be girls' night out, and women will always bring a man along with them, and that to me is not right, because with men are strict. When they have their boys' night out, there are no women. So why we as women, we can't do the same? Like, that's how I am. Girls' night out means girls' night out. I hate when people bring niggas, because it's like, didn't you just see him last night? Or aren't y'all going out tomorrow? Like, this is our time just to hang out as women. We don't see each other often. We all have jobs, kids, responsibilities. And then the one night that we have to kick it, you bring in this dude. It's kind of like weird. And then whether as with men, they hang out all the time, especially I would say men between the ages of 15 and I want to say 50. men hang out with men all the time. 2-3 times a week they hanging out with their friends. But for some reason, women, they don't, if they're hanging out with their friends, is they bringing a nigga along the way or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. But some women make a habit of it. So my question is, do you think it's wrong, that whole scene with Maya and Alex, his name was in the show. His real name is Stephen Bishop. He was on a few Tubi movies, and he looks very young. Like, I would not think he was 54, and it's just amazing to see him. You could see it in his face. He was younger back then, but he looks like he's my age. I'm 36, and I'm like, wow, he aged well. His name is Stephen Bishop. His name was Alex on that particular episode, and I did the research. And I was like, oh, okay, his name is Stephen Bishop. Okay, because I knew I seen his face before. I'm like, he be on Tubi movies. So, and I looked it up, and yeah, his name was Alex on the show. His real name is Stephen Bishop. But, yeah, that whole scene, those of you who watch Girlfriends and that are big fans, that scene with Maya and Alex, do you think he was in the right? Was he in the wrong? Comment, like, and subscribe. I feel like Maya was wrong, because he did not invite her. And just because a man doesn't invite you, he was wrong overall with how he was treating her, because they show clips where she's like, hey, I just want to spend time with you, and it seemed like he always had an excuse, and that's why she popped up. But in that instance, I feel like she wrong, because he just want to hang out with his friends. It's a time and a place for y'all to spend. Like, why would you want to spend time with him with your friends there? Unless if you know his friends, that's the only way it would make sense. Like, oh, okay, you got some single guy friends, I got some friends that's single, let's mingle. Then yes, that makes sense. But if it's a situation where he didn't invite you somewhere and you pop up, you're only embarrassing yourself. And I don't think that's right, because if I'm seeing someone, I'm dating someone, I would not want them to pop up at my event and I'm out with my girls. Like, no, that's not cool. Like, you should know your place or whatever. But comment, like, and subscribe. That scene with Maya and Alex, who do you think is right? Who do you think is wrong? And also, what would you do if you got to a dude house and his ex-girlfriend was there? Those are my thoughts. Comment, like, and subscribe.